Argentina has a population of 41.45 million people as of 2013. The country strongly relies on forestry, mining, fishing, petroleum, and agriculture as its natural resources. The generations in Argentina has a capacity of 24,000 megawatts and generates 96.65 terawatts an hour. The power system operates at 220 volts at 50 hertz and is made up of 61% thermal power, 32% hydro, 5% nuclear, and 2% imported electricity. Starting in 2015, a chemical company plans to expand capacity and enhance production technologies by building a polyurethane plant located in Bahia Blanca, which is in Argentina. Argentina also expects to import Bolivian power by the end of 2015.
Located in the northwest of South America, Ecuador is our focus of study. With a population of approximately 13 million, Ecuador has a significant power demand. Ecuador's main industries consist of petroleum, food processing, textiles, wood products, and chemicals. Ecuador is currently running at about 42,000 megawatts per hour, or megawatts per day, and the country is experiencing a generation shortfall of about 7,000 megawatts a day, or around 13 or 17%. Currently using a 110 volt 60 hertz system, total primary energy consumption in Ecuador consists of 76% petroleum, 4% natural gas, 19% hydroelectric, and 1% non-hydro renewables. These consist of solar and wind power. In 2011, hydroelectricity accounted for more than 50% of the country's generation. The other large source of electricity supplied is a group of oil-powered conventional thermal power plants. To address the capacity shortages, Ecuador plans to build 6 new hydroelectric power plants in the coming decade. Financing for all these new projects will come from China. The Coca-Condo electric facility currently being developed is the largest energy project in Ecuador's history. It is located in the Amazon basin, which is approximately 100 kilometers east of Ecuador's main capital, Quito, between the provinces of Napo and Chicamburwa. This has a projected 1,500 megawatt capacity. The plant is expected to produce an average of 8.63 gigawatt hours per annum, supplying about 44% of the country's electrical needs. Construction on the $2.6 billion project started in 2010 is expected to be completed by late 2015, creating 3,000 direct jobs and 15,000 indirect jobs. It will also reduce 4.5 million tons of CO2 emissions annually.
The population of Chile is estimated at approximately 17.5 million. Chile's power system runs on a 50 Hz 220/380 volt system. Chile currently has a capacity of 18 gigawatts and approximately 62,000 gigawatt hours. In recent studies, fossil fuels accounted for 63% of Chile's power production. Hydropower followed, producing 34%, and 3% was produced by means of non-conventional renewable energy, which is mainly wind and solar. The electrical infrastructure is divided into 4 separate transmission grids, providing power to specific geographic locations. 2 of these grids provide power to over 98% of the country. The largest of the 4 producers, known as the Central Interconnected System, generated approximately 74% of Chile's energy in 2011. It supplies the majority of Chile's population and produced just over 46,000 gigawatt hours. The Norte Grande Interconnected System provides power to Chile's mining industry in the northern part of the country. It generated 15,872 gigawatt hours in 2011. Although this is available to the many mines in northern Chile, some of the corporations have recently built and now operate their own power stations, which meet their specific power needs with either solar or wind power. Mining, which is the backbone of Chile's economy, produces the nation's most valuable resource in copper. The Chilean government has recently encouraged and funded some new generation projects. They plan to quadruple their solar and wind production from 2011, which was 1,625 megawatts, by 2015. The government also recently set a goal to reach a renewable energy target of 55% by the year 2024. This would mean an 18% decrease in fossil fuel use. Some strategies to achieve this goal include a large increase in the use of non-conventional renewable energy, an increase in the use of large hydropower plants, strengthening the Chilean transmission and distribution system, making it easier to get electricity produced in one part of the country to consumers in the other, and promote the development of international interconnections.
Uruguay has a population of 3.4 million people, and main industries are manufacturing, agriculture, and fishing. Uruguay has a 230 and 500 kilovolt transmission line. The residential voltage is 220 volts and the frequency is 50 Hz. Uruguay's power grid has 2.5 gigawatt capacity, and in 2008 the total generation was 8,019 gigawatt hours. Uruguay installed 2 wind farms in 2009 and have continually expanded them until now. Uruguay has also been working on interconnecting with Brazil, which is supposed to be done this year. They have recently installed a large frequency inverter to change Brazil's 50 Hz to Uruguay's 60 Hz.
Peru has a population of 30.38 million people. Its 3 major industries are fishing, mining, and manufacturing, with manufacturing being heavily dependent on both the fishing and mining industries. The standard voltage level in Peru is 220 volts at 60 Hz, which is very common throughout South America. Peru has an installed capacity of 6.7 gigawatts and 27,400 gigawatt hours. The country produces its power in 2 major ways, with thermal and hydroelectric generation. Currently, 52% of Peru's power is produced through thermal generation, and the remaining 48% is hydroelectric. By the end of 2016, Peru expects to increase its installed capacity by 4.3 gigawatts. This power will be produced primarily from hydroelectric generation due to the country's significant hydropower potential. If this is the case, Peru should have an installed capacity of 11 gigawatts, with around 62% of its power being produced by a hydroelectric system.
The population for Colombia is 48.3 million people. Their main resources are coffee beans, sugar, as well as textiles. Colombia produces about 13.4 gigawatts of power at about 60 Hz frequency and 110 volts. They also produce 828 kilowatts per hour per capita, which is a very large amount. Colombia's power is mostly generated by hydro, which is water. That's about 65%, and the other 35% would be thermal. About 300 to 400 megawatts are being added to Colombia's power system, and this is going to cost an estimated $500 million. An upcoming and continuous project for Colombia, they are partnering up with Panama, another South American country, and expanding their transmission system, doing so by adding underwater lines and overhead lines to residential and industrial applications.